Herkese merhaba, hoş geldiniz. Hello everyone, welcome to our lesson. So we are about to start in a few seconds. Birkaç saniye içinde hemen başlıyoruz. And today we will talk about the optative and imperative moods. And in easy words, we will learn how to say let me do it, let me go, or basically giving orders like do this, come here, go there, and all the other direct orders. First, I will explain the two moods separately. We will start with optative, then we'll continue with imperative, and then I'll try to combine them. I'll try to avoid the terms and instead giving you practical examples. So you will try to come up with your own examples. There will be small practice parts between the moods. And at the end, we'll talk about interesting details. This subject is pretty simple, it's pretty basic. It will be suitable for beginners as well, and for others who know how it works, it is a good opportunity for you to review your information and do some more practice. Okay, so let's just start. And I will just use everything already written on the stream. So optative mood is basically about intention or desire. When you have an intention or desire in something, you can use this suffix. And in Turkish, it is called istek kipi. Kip is the Turkish word for mood. So istek kipi, optative mood. And istek is a noun. It comes from istemek, which is basically to want, but it can be to request, it can be to intend to do something or to mean to do something. And it is very simple because most of the time we will be using it for first singular and plural. Just the first pronouns, just I, ben, and we, biz. Ben and biz. Because the other pronouns like you or he, she, it, or they are not very common anymore in this mood. We don't use them anymore. And when do we use the optative mood? So, like in a statement, like a positive statement or negative statement, you can use this suffix and it will basically be like let's, but of course not let us, not always us. It will be let me or let us. Maybe I can change this part. So it is basically like let me or let us. So mesela yemek yiyelim. Let's eat. Bakayım. Let me see. Let me look. Sorayım. Let me ask. All of these verbs have their roots here. Except for this yi is not the root. The real root is yemek, but yemek and demek are always irregular. They always change their endings, their vowels like this. So if I break this down, it becomes like yemek. Then when you have this elim suffix, it becomes like this, ye, and of course sometimes you might need to use the buffer like this, ye, elim, and then you change it to yiyelim. This e changes into e, yiyelim. And bakayım, this is how it's formed, like bakmak, like this, bakmak, to look, to see. And then you can say a, and then the buffer, ayım, bakayım, bakayım. Let me look. And it's the same for other pronouns. We will see a full table in the next slide. For now, let's talk about how to use this in questions. So when you use this suffix in the questions, it is more like instead of let me go or let us go, it's more like shall we go? You know, in English, when you say this, it's more like a suggestion. Like, should we do this? Shall we do this? Shall we meet on the weekend? Hafta sonu buluşalım mı? Or with these examples, yemek yiyelim mi? Shall we eat food? Film izleyelim mi? Shall we watch a movie? Like, do you want to watch a movie? I'm suggesting that we watch, but I'm asking for your opinion. Are you in it? Dışarı çıkalım mı? Do you want to go outside? Shall we go outside? And it's the same formation with all of these, like this. You can see them here, and also like this, and of course the personal endings. So, this is the point of using the optative mood. When you need to say let us, like you have the intention to do something, or you have the desire to do something, or when you use a question, shall we? Even with the first singular pronoun, it becomes shall I. Like yapayım mı? Shall I do this? It's more like should I do this? Like, is it okay if I do this? Do you want me to do this? All of these subtle implications, they depend on the context. So let's see our full table. Now that you know the point of this and why we are learning this, we can learn how to use this. Derse you cannot get it right because you said başlayalım mı. The root should be başlayalım mı. Try typing başla. Yeah, you need to start with başla, and then you need to put your suffixes after başla. Exactly, derse başlayalım mı. So, let's read our reminders. The actual suffix for this mood is a or e, depending on the vowel harmony. And you may need the buffer if the verb ends with a vowel, like a voiced letter, like a, e. I think these are the most common ones, like anlamak, istemek, it ends with an e. This one, yapmak, this means to do. Yapmak, to do. And yapayım, let me do it. Yapmayayım. So this is like let me not do it, but it's more like I don't want to do it. Yapayım mı? Asking question. Should I do this? Or shall I do this? Yapmayayım mı? Shall I not do this? And the other formations, other conjugations for sen, o, siz, and onlar, the singular you, and he, she, it, and plural you and they, these are, as you can see, are like gray because we don't use them anymore. Like, if you come to Turkey, you will never hear anyone say yapasın or yapa or yapmayasın or yapmaya in any context. But you may hear this in old books and old historical movies, TV shows. So it used to be used in the past, but people stopped using it. It became outdated. So we don't say this anymore. We only use yapayım or yapalım. These two are the only things you need to know. Yapayım yapalım. And this is like let me do it and let's do it. And as you may notice that the name of the server, Türkçe Öğrenelim. Öğrenmek is to learn. So when I say öğrenelim, in English, that's literally let's learn Turkish. You can see this example even in the server name, or you can hear this in songs. Like there's a song that says like Haydi gel içelim. Like, come on. Haydi means come on, but not like the frustration, but more like prompt. Like come on, let's come and drink. Haydi gel içelim. And then I don't know, any other context where you need to say something. Like derse başlayalım. Let's start the lesson. Let's go to the shopping. Let's go shopping. Hadi alışverişe gidelim. Gel tanışalım. Like let's meet. Gel konuşalım. Let's talk. So encouraging someone, yes, exactly. Trying to get someone moving. Okay? So I hope this is simple so far. These two formations, yapayım, yapalım, are the only things you need to remember. Don't worry about the others, yapasın and yapa, unless you live in the past. Or, you know the famous Turkish TV show, Diriliş Ertuğrul? They use this, I have heard it in the TV show, but that's only because it's an old TV show, or the events are set in the old times. So it actually proves what I am saying. It used to be used in the history, but not anymore. You will never hear this from someone in Turkey in today's times. Yapasın is not let you do it. Yapasın is basically I want you to do it, but that is a bit difficult to explain. When we also talk about the imperative, we will get to more into details, because with optative these are not used, but we replace those with the imperative ones. Or maybe you shall do it, maybe. Okay, first let's start with this practice. You can now try making your conjugations, or you can type them in the chat. I gave you the options like görmek, the roots, the I don't know, like modifier, positive, and the person. You can take a look at the table for reference, then you can type them in the channel, and after that, of course, the small translations. So, yes, this is gör is the root. We need to have the positive conjugation. So I'm going to positive for ben. Eyim. Göreyim. Like this. Göreyim. And the second one, yürümek, is the root. Then I need the negative. And for bis. So elim suffix with the negative. So yürüme yelim. And sormak, I need the positive question. Alım mı? But for biz. Biz soralım mı? Soralım mı? Should we ask? And istemek, negative. Where is negative? Here. for ben. İstemeyeyim. İste, root is here. Meyeyim. Okay, and let's watch. Watch is izlemek. And I am saying let us. So I will need to use biz. İzleyelim. And then let's eat. Eat is ye, but in the previous slide, as I was saying, yemek is irregular. So you need to change it to ye. Yiyelim. Let's not run. Negative biz. Koşmayalım. Let's not wait. Negative us. Negative biz. Let's wait. Beklemeyelim. Okay, so we are done with the optative pretty much. I have talked about everything I had in mind. I'm just checking my notes. Yeah, the other details we can talk more about them in the Delights of Turkish. If there are no questions about optative, about this table, now we can talk about the imperative mood. Okay, so you just need to be careful with the last letter. It can change. Let me give you an example. Here, izle. Like after izle, you have this y buffer and then elim. Will I use this for how about we do something? Yes, I would. Because this one is pretty flexible. It's not always let's go. It's basically giving a suggestion, giving a like prompt, like telling someone to do something, or like your friend sends you a link, a video, and then you say, okay, let me watch it. Tamam, izleyeyim. Or you want to invite your crush for a dinner, then you want to ask her or him, like, how about we go for a dinner? Bu akşam yemek yiyelim mi? Bu akşam yemeğe çıkalım mı? Like, shall we go? How about we go? So yeah, it is pretty flexible. You can use this for that as well. Like you are basically suggesting something to do and you're asking if they are up to it. Okay, and next part, imperative. Imperative is a bit more pretty straightforward because most of the time there's just no marker. It is more like about direct requests and also suggestions. That's where it gets tricky. That's where they can be combined with the optative. First we will talk about the order and command meaning of this. So if you look at how this is called in Turkish, it's like emir kipi. Emir means like an order or command, like in the military when like a private will say like yes sir. In Turkish we say emredersiniz komutanım. Like it's an order, like you order me sir, so it's an order. Emredersiniz, emir. And that's why we call it emir kipi. Emir is also a name, like a male name, but just as a fun fact, we also use it as a name. We basically use this to give an emir. But of course, it doesn't have to be serious. You are not giving a command to your friend. You are just telling them to do something. You are giving them a direct request. So, It is very simple because most of the time there's just no endings. As you can see here, gel, like come. In English, there's just no conjugation for this either. Just it is just come, gel. Git, go. Ye, eat. And of course, now this is where things get a bit more tricky. Gitsin. This is the imperative conjugation for the third singular person for like him or her. Oh wait, I didn't want to mean to that. I will explain this later. First, like gel, git, ye, yap, dinle, izle, watch, yürü, walk, koş, run. I don't know any other verbs that you can come up with. And with the questions, it is very similar to imperative. Çocuk gelsin mi? Like, o çocuk buraya gelsin mi? Should that kid come here? O gitsin mi? Should that person go away? Should I tell them to go away? Gitsin mi? Do you want him to go away? Okay? And when we say gelir misin? Yeah, of course, it's more polite. Instead of saying gel, if the person is not a friend, if you need to show respect, if you need to stay formal, instead of saying gel, you need to say gelir misin? Of course. Or, as we said last week, you can even use the potential like gelir misin, gelebilir misin? And now here is our table. The suffix for this is basically non-existent. As you can see, the table is pretty much empty. And the ones that are conjugated, there are just no endings, no markers for them, except for this o, yapsın. So ben, there's no imperative mood for ben because you can't just give an order to yourself. You wouldn't say it like for yourself. It doesn't work. Sen, you can say them as a positive or negative order, but not as a question. So in this table, what you need to remember is basically this sın suffix for o. Gelsin, yapsın, sorsun, dinlesin, or gitsin. Okay, so I don't know. There are more other flexible contexts because this could also be translated as make someone do something, like o ders dinlesin. Make sure that he listens to the lesson. O ödev yapsın. Like make sure that he is doing his homework. Let's go to this and compare the optative and imperative. So this one is the optative mood. And this is the imperative mood. So now, maybe you can see that with the imperative, the first pronouns, these ones here, are empty. That's why the imperative borrows these ones, these and these, and we use them in the same order. Okay, so what is this? What does that mean? The other meaning of the other function of imperative, as you may remember, let him do, like yapsın, let him come, like gelsin. For ben, let me come, it borrows yapayım because there's nothing for ben, but it takes it from optative. Geleyim. Yeah, op imperative, I don't know, whatever you call it. So in a grammar book, it's called, the paradigms of these are intertwined. Like they are, like, you just mix them up. You use the first part of optative for the first parts of imperative. Normally, technically, it's non-existent. Like, based on this table, you can say let him do or let him come, but you can say let me come. But you say that in the optative, with the optative suffix. Let him come, let me come. A different example. For example, let me eat. Yiyeyim. Let him eat. Yesin. Okay. Ben de size teşekkür ederim. Geldiğiniz ve beni dinlediğiniz için. I also thank you guys for coming and listening to me, listening to the class. Don't forget to do the homework tomorrow. And see you on Monday. Sonra görüşürüz. Kendinize iyi bakın. İyi geceler.